Okay, so continuing in our wage theft series, I want to talk to you about one that can be a little bit tricky. Today, we're going to talk about the computer exemption to the Fair Labor Standards Act. These are people who work in IT. And a lot of people work in IT or they work around IT, but they may or may not be entitled to the exemption for IT. So remember, in order to be exempt, you always have to make $684 or $27.63 an hour. So if you're making less than $27.63 an hour and you work in IT, doesn't matter what you do, you're still going to be entitled to overtime. However, if you're making more than $27.63 an hour and you work in IT, we need to do a little bit more digging to determine whether or not you're exempt or if you should be paid overtime. And this is really, really important because a lot of people fall into this IT category where it's kind of murky. Okay, so what are the jobs that will make you exempt? All right, so if you're exempt as a computer worker, you have to be employed as a computer systems analyst, a computer programmer, a software engineer, or an other similarly skilled worker in the computer field, performing the following duties. Okay, this would be applying systems analysis techniques and procedures, including consulting with users to determine hardware, software, or system functional specifications. That would be designing, developing, documenting, analyzing, or creating, or testing, or modifying computer systems or programs, including making prototypes or being or related to user or system design specs. Okay, and then it could be to design or document or test or create or modify computer programs related to machine operating systems. Or you could combine any of the three that I just talked to you. Now, what are those jobs? These are jobs that are sort of on the creative end or the more technical end of computer systems work. These are people who are most often involved in the design and development of computer systems, not in the day-to-day operation of those computer systems. So if you are an IT manager, or an IT employee, and your job is to do frontline support for a business unit, and you're not really designing the system or creating the system, you're just maintaining the system, you're probably not going to qualify for this exemption. But if your job is to code the system, to make the systems work, then you might be covered by the computer employee system, computer employee exemption. So what you're really looking for is the people who are at the design, the creativity, the making of the systems, and not the people who operate the systems or the people who maintain those systems. So if you're looking at it and you are like a help desk person, or you're a computer operator, the word computer in your title does not make you an exempt. It has to be what you do. And if you are not analyzing the system in any way, you're probably going to be entitled to overtime. Now, this is something that you may have questions about, and we need to really dig in deep with what you actually do to determine whether you fall under the computer exemption. So if you want to give us a call, we're always here to talk to you about your particular problems and whether or not we can be of help. And if you are exempt or non-exempt, we can talk to you about what your options might be. So you can call us in the office at 205-564-9005, or you can reach us on the web, and that's kyrafontenot.com.